EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And that's not going to be returned, as so many kicking teams elect to do. This is past the landing zone, and we'll start at the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing to start the drive. Carrington. That's caught. It's Josh Downs. The game's first play produces 6 yards. Brings up 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Back to throw. Carrington. And that is incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Fielded just inside the 20. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the Ravens will take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. A first carry for Tyler Algier. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away. If the ball was pop free, they picked it up. 5 takeaways in last week's game.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 5. Algier with another carry. And at the 42-yard line here and brought down there. That one a first down pickup of 8. The Ravens at 500 at 6 and 6. They were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. And I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten far enough away from the pocket to throw that football away, and that draws the flag.
Yeah, the old tackle box, right? Get outside of each tackle, and then you can go ahead and throw it away, and you're in good shape. But if you're back there in the pocket, you got to make sure of what you're doing.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Algier now up the middle. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7 on the ground. That trims it to a 3rd and 15 situation.
And that was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
A tough spot here. 3rd and 15. Throwing is Jackson. That's thrown underneath to Algier. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. The Ravens send their punter out now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. Yikes. Terrible kick headed straight for the sidelines. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And this is going to be a Raiders first down as good running gets him to about the 44.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run. And let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. You look at this Baltimore defense. They were excellent in that win with the 49ers last week.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
They'll give him 4 yards there. 3rd and 7 now. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. That one complete to Trey Tucker. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
And his throw here is incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's another good run, and he's having an excellent day. And right now, I don't think his team could have any more confidence in handing him the football.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. 46 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. With that last carry, he's now over 8,000 career rushing yards.
All right, big applause. Lots of clapping for this one, right? Think about it this way. Along the way, he has passed Hall of Famer Terrell Davis, and now he's starting to approach another Hall of Famer in Larry Zonka.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second and goal from the 1. Jacobs will cross the line. He's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they are back to 500 on the year, got the win last weekend, and it's one that kept their playoff hopes alive.
And if you do have those hopes, 500 is not where you want to be at this point of the year. Now, we know they battled through some rough patches this season, so it now comes down to how they're going to finish. Not out of it. Can't afford any more missteps, though.
2nd and 9.
Hey, Alpha, sit hot.
To throw is Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by DJ Reed. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Well, it's one thing to get the interception, and it was a great play, but then you saw how quickly all of his teammates, Charles, turned to find blocks, made sure they had space for him to make the house call.
And not only did they turn and find the blocks, none of them clipped from behind, blocked someone in the back. This play is going to stand. And how about what we see each and every week now? When the defenders make a big play, there's always a group celebration after the takeaway.
And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And the safety, Trayvon Merrick, up to make the play defensively. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Alpha, sit on. Alpha.
Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hoover. And he'll get about 6 there before he is taken down rather rudely and abruptly. Second down and 4. Algier going straight ahead. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Tucker's kick is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point of drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
And they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. This is caught by Tucker. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. 58 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Open man down the field, it's Bowers. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Here's Jacobs. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten him down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
Operating from the gun, Carrington, and it's caught. And he was able to shed 1 tackle, but could not get away from there. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he's over the line and in for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are able to extend their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. out as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Jackson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. Second and 10. Now it's Jackson. Now they go screen. It's complete. Finding room at midfield. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2. Now it's Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. So the 4th down conversion has him inside the 40 now, 1st and 10. He finds his man, complete. It's Owens. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 11 more on that one, and another 1st down. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here's 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Jackson now. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Here's Jackson. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
3rd and goal, Jackson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Ravens are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it makes the score 21-10. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And with only 9 seconds remaining, well, not much time, we'll see how they play this. Short throw caught by... And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Well, obviously, you never want to fumble, but if you do, good to be towards the sideline and saves them the possession.
Saves the embarrassment, saves it going down on the play sheet as a turnover, but I still think it should go to the defense, even if they don't recover it. If you give up the football, you gave up the football.
Agree to disagree, I guess.
Can you tell what I played?
Yeah, you played defense. Yeah. I'll let you go.
I took a shot.
And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. That's complete. It's Brian Thomas. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. Looking to throw. Jackson. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jackson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
On 1st and 10, it's Algier. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. They'll stick with Algier, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Jackson from the shotgun. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
2nd down, Jacobs once more. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 78 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
That complete to Downs. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a pickup of 12. Second play in a row with a 12-yard gain.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
First down, here's Mitchell. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
This pass left side to Downs. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 22-yard line. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Usually the big fella is a blocker, a lead back, but he gets the ball on first down. What a surprise for everyone. And as a former safety, if he breaks into the secondary and you see him coming, you just know that's a whole lot of man you've got to deal with now.
He'll get this underneath to Jacobs. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They got 5 through the air last play, now 5 on the ground. 1st and 10.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with career touchdown number 91. He joins a group that includes Tony Dorsett and Isaac Bruce, among others. And the Raiders go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
We're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. From the gun, Jackson. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. He may go. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Well, whatever adjustments they're trying to make over on that sideline, Charles, this defense, they just seem to be a step in front of them and not giving them a chance to implement any of those changes. And here, a pick 6, and they widen the lead.
At least a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps. And right now, they are thinking hard about putting this opponent away. That turnover, it grew their lead and just totally deflated that offense. Now these next couple of series, you can take them out of the game entirely if you continue on this pace.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles, if they're going to try to pull off an impressive. Oh, and for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Here's a handoff to Jacobs running left, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. 2nd down, Jacobs once more. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Calling no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Here's Jacobs from the gun. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go, set.
Operating from the gun. Carrington. He'll get the tight end Bowers involved there. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 96 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Keep in mind they can still get a first down here as they come up on 2nd and inches. Once again, it's Jacobs.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the 4th quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Raiders have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Jackson. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Nate Hobbs. And the return will stop right around the 25. Well, I guess an interception at this point on 4th down is just as bad as an incomplete pass. Either way, the ball goes over to the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in this late in the game, and there's not a whole lot he could do there, and he winds up giving the ball away.
Here's a handoff to Jacobs. Shifts by at the 15. Oh, and fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Let's go now.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Here now a 3rd down and 8. A give to the fullback on the dive. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Daniel Carlson set for the Raider field goal. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Carlson able to put this one through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Throwing is Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Brandon, I think he's just grateful to get back to the line of scrimmage and avoid not just losing yardage, but a big hit on that play as well. That defense closed on him quick and forced a quick surrender out of bounds.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Looking to throw. Jackson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Ravens 1st down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
They brought in a heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play, but we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one, wound up hitting him for a 1st down.
Hey, Alpha, sit hot. Nice hot.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Hoover. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Over the middle, that's caught by Owens. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
That's into the hands of Flowers over the middle. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another 1st down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Jackson will throw again. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Tyree Wilson in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach.
Under pressure, they got him again. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll drop to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. That is caught, and he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Jackson and the Ravens still on the field. They'll go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. They put up their goal at the beginning of the season.